Welcome back. More than 900 people have died in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew in Haiti. While the government set up more than 1,000 shelters for people affected by the storm, it faces an even bigger problem.
This is the devastation left by Hurricane Matthew in Haiti. The Category 5 storm wiped out the town of Jérémie, leaving very few houses standing. Residents have nothing to come back home to. Residents here are lucky to be alive, but as they assess the damage, they realize it's a lot worse than they imagined.
Right now, the problem after that storm, what's going to be tough for them right now, it is because they don't have no food to let, like vegetable, like mango, avocado, everything destroyed.
Also affected in town Jérémie is the UN base. The UN says hospitals were damaged and communication lines have been affected.
Matthew is a very big and a very bad beast, and it's not going to go away in the next couple of days. Matthew's obviously battered Haiti. It went on to Cuba. Bahamas took a real hammering in the last couple of days, and it's now turning its fury towards Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. And the very dangerous thing about this hurricane is that, according to the current tracks, it's not going to make a direct hit on land and then go away. It's rather going to hug the coastline for several days. So that means that the potential for flooding from the very, very heavy rainfall, from the extremely powerful storm surge, it's going to stick around for longer.
It's very concerned about the situation on the ground and has sent in experts in sanitation, epidemiology and logistics, and a team who will detect the possible presence of cholera.
Il est fort probable que des cas de choléra soient enregistrés.
It is highly possible that the cases of cholera will be registered, perhaps not immediately, as with all waterborne diseases. It takes a few weeks so that cases are recorded, and it is for this reason that the WHO has prepared in advance, sending a team to be able to rapidly detect the first case and know exactly where it is found to eventually limit the cases of cholera in other regions.
A thought reiterated by the country's ambassador to the United States.
Cholera was an issue that Haiti was dealing with, has been dealing with in the past few years. So in light of what just took place over the past few days, yes, cholera and other health issues might be on the rise. Again, a number of measures were discussed and taken to ensure that the numbers remain low. But at this particular moment, we know that the government has deployed a number of healthcare workers, doctors, and also in partnership with healthcare NGOs on the ground already to not only assess but to provide first help to those who are in need.
Following the 2010 earthquake, UN peacekeepers inadvertently introduced cholera to Haiti, killing at least 9,000 people and affecting hundreds of thousands more. Help is slowly getting to those who need them. The Haitian Red Cross and Catholic Relief Services delivered needed supplies to as many as they could in the Les Cayes commune. Help is yet to reach other areas affected by the storm, and UN trucks carrying supplies, aid, and medical equipment have managed to reach some areas. Neighboring Cuba, which was also affected by the storm, has sent in 38 doctors, along with a shipment of aid and supplies to help. Medical aid group, Doctors Without Borders, has also sent teams on the ground.
Here are other stories causing discussions in diplomatic circles.
The situation in Aleppo is devastating.
Russia has called on the UK to stop what it calls its support of extremists and terrorists around the world. The call was made by the Russian representative to the United Nations, Vasily Cherkin, during a session of the UN Security Council on Saturday. Churkin also called on the UK to stop what he describes as colonial habits. Russia vetoed a French-drafted UN Security Council resolution on Saturday that would have demanded an end to airstrikes and military flights over the Syrian city of Aleppo, while a rival Russian draft text failed to get a minimum 9 votes in favor. Moscow's text was effectively the French draft with Russian amendment. It removed the demand for an end to airstrikes on Aleppo and put focus back on a failed September 9 US-Russia ceasefire deal, which was annexed to the draft. British UN Ambassador Matthew Rycroft told the Russian ambassador, "Thanks to your actions today, Syrians will continue to lose their lives in Aleppo and beyond to Russia and Syria bombing. Please stop now." Meanwhile, tension remains in parts of India's Kashmir region following a curfew imposed by the government after a teenage boy was killed by pellet gun firing. Protesters clashed with security forces on Saturday after 13-year-old Junaid Ahmed was killed. Kashmir has been witnessing one of its worst periods of unrest following the killing of a field commander of separatist Kashmiri group Hizbul Mujahideen, Boran Wani, by Indian forces in early July. More than 80 civilians have been killed and thousands wounded in the 3 months of protests. Speaking of protests, they've been going on for months in Ethiopia, causing the government to declare a state of emergency. The anti-government protests are being carried out by members of the country's 2 largest ethnic groups, the Oromo and the Amhara, who make up 60% of the population. They're angry that power rests in the hands of a few people and the country's economic development, which they believe is hindered by those in power. Scores of people have died in recent demonstrations that have also seen damage to almost a dozen factories, commercial farms and 60 vehicles. The government says as many as 11 companies, ranging from textile firms to a commercial flower farm, were attacked by the protesters. 55 people were killed during a religious festival, which later turned a political demonstration last Sunday. It's the latest in the wave of unrest that the opposition says has claimed 450 lives since 2015. The United Nations has revealed there are more than 4,200 refugees in Morocco, a new stopover for millions trying to make their way across the sea into Europe.
Refugees are all across Morocco. They live in over 40 different municipalities. So this is not, refugees in Morocco should not be seen as a movement, coming from through Algeria in the north and then to Europe. They are actually settling all over the country. Some, like 17-year-old Ketsia from the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kinshasa, have found a way to survive while they wait. Ketsia lives in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, having arrived in the country 3 months before. She has been living in accommodations provided by a UNHCR partner organization and receives a stipend each month, having received refugee status. Now she is waiting to be enrolled in a local public school and wants to become a doctor and continue her education in Morocco. The UNHCR has been helping people like her to better integrate with local communities. Finally, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel is on a 3-day tour of Africa, visiting Mali first. Mrs. Merkel will also be in Niger and Ethiopia. The visit is aimed at finding ways to reduce the number of migrants trying to enter Europe. After her visit, she'll be hosting leaders from Nigeria and Chad for talks in Berlin. The visit will also focus on security and anti-insurgency efforts in the region. She's also seeking investment opportunities, which she hopes will drive economic development in the continent. That's the program this week. Glad you could join us. I am Amarachi Obani. I'd love to hear from you. Our addresses are on your screen. I'll see you next time.